Lucas Reed was not a soldier, not a hero, not even famous. He was just an engineer, one of the many young minds working in the Earth-Space Alliance's communication division. His job was quiet: fix machines, improve signal strength, check energy levels. Nothing exciting, but everything changed when the Eliari arrived. They came from a system 300 light-years away, appearing one day in the orbit of Earth with glowing silver ships that shimmered like sunlight on water, like most alien stories. They didn't come to conquer or destroy. The Eliari came in peace. Their message was simple: we wish to know you. At first, Earth's governments panicked. But after months of talks, humanity realized the Eliari were not enemies. They were explorers, artists, and thinkers. Their technology was far ahead, but their hearts were gentle. That's when the Unity program started. One Eliari would work with one human on each major Earth base. They would exchange knowledge, culture, ideas, and Lucas, well, he got picked. Didn't understand why? He wasn't special. But maybe that was the point. The Eliari chose based on emotion, not status. And the one assigned to him was called Alira. She wasn't human, but she was beautiful in a strange way. Her skin glowed faintly with a soft blue light, like moonlight. Her eyes had no pupils, just deep, clear silver that sparkled when she laughed. Her voice was musical, soft like wind chimes. And when she smiled, Lucas forgot what day it was. He met her on the base's landing platform. She wore a flowing robe, and her steps were quiet, almost floating. "Are you, Lyra?" he asked, nervous. "Yes," she said gently. "And you are?" "Lucas." From that day, they worked side by side. Lucas showed her how human machines worked: engines, circuits, data cables. Alira showed him Eliori technology, crystal energy, emotional reading devices, memory spheres. But more than that, they shared stories. Lucas told her about his childhood, his dreams, his love for stargazing. Lyra told him about Eliari art, music made from color, and cities that floated on clouds. Every day with her felt magical. She would tilt her head when confused, blink slowly when thinking, and sometimes hum songs with no words. Lucas found himself smiling more, laughing, waiting for each new shift just to see her. At night, he couldn't stop thinking about her. Her voice, her kindness, her curiosity. But he knew it was silly. She was an alien. He was just a human. They were different. Too different. One evening, after a long shift, they sat outside near the spaceport's observation deck. Stars glittered above like scattered diamonds. "Your stars are beautiful," Alira whispered. "So are yours," Lucas replied. She looked at him, confused. "I mean, Eliari stars?" "Your home sky," he explained, quickly blushing. Alira smiled. "You are always kind, Lucas," he nodded, but inside his chest felt tight. He wanted to tell her everything, that he liked her, that he felt something real, that being near her made his world better, but he couldn't. It wasn't right. Instead, he looked up at the sky and whispered softly, "I wish I could marry her." He didn't think she heard, but she turned, her eyes those glowing silver. Stars looked straight into his. Lucas froze. "I heard you," she said calmly. His face turned red. I didn't mean nay, was just thinking out loud." Alira raised her hand gently. "Why do you wish that?" Lucas looked away. "Because you're amazing, kind. You see the world in a way I never could. You make me want to be better. I know I can't. I mean, we can't. You're not even human." There was silence. Just the sound of wind. Alira stood and walked closer. "On Elier, we don't speak promises unless our hearts agree." Lucas looked up, confused. She placed a hand on his chest, over his heart. "I feel your emotions," she whispered. "They are true, soft, full of hope." He didn't speak. Alira stepped back, her silver eyes glowing in the starlight. "Do you wish to know my answer?" she asked. Lucas blinked. "To your wish," she said. "You wish to know?" "What I would say." He swallowed, his throat dry. "Yes," Alira smiled. "My answer is yes." Lucas felt the ground shift beneath him. His heart raced. Did she really say that? But how? Your people, they don't allow this. I don't care about rules that block truth, she said calmly. I care about what is real, and what is real is this connection. Lucas stared at her. He didn't know what came next. He didn't know what problems they would face. But for just this moment, it didn't matter. He reached out his hand. She took it. 2 worlds, 2 hearts, 1 beginning. Lucas couldn't sleep that night. He lay on his bed, staring at the ceiling of his small room on the Earth Alliance base. His heart was racing. Again and again, he replayed her words in his head. My answer's yes. He had never expected her to feel the same. She wasn't even from Earth. She wasn't even human. And yet, she had looked at him like no one else ever had. She had heard the secret wish in his whisper, and instead of laughing, she had said yes. The next day, everything felt different. The hallways were the same. The lights buzzed like always. The machines beeped. But to Lucas, it was like the entire base had been touched by magic. When he reached the control room, Lyra was already there. She turned when he entered. You are late, Lucas Reed. He smiled. By 2 minutes. 3, she said, raising an eyebrow. Lucas laughed. You're keeping time now? Lyra blinked slowly, her version of a grin. Only for you. They began their work checking the planetary signal boosters, updating Elyari translation software, testing the new atmospheric sensors. But the space between them had changed. It was warmer, closer, comfortable. During lunch break, Lucas took her to the Earth's Garden Dome, a place built to help alien guests understand Earth's nature. Trees, flowers, and grass grew there under artificial sunlight. Lyra walked among the plants, lightly touching the leaves. Your world is alive in every corner, she said. Lucas plucked a small red flower and offered it to her. It's called a tulip. Lyra studied it. It smells like spring and warmth, Lucas chuckled. You make everything sound like poetry. That is because I feel your emotions while speaking, she said softly. Lucas looked down. Even now, she nodded. You feel joy? Also, fear. He rubbed the back of his neck. Yeah, I'm scared. This assist's not exactly normal. It's not normal, Lyra agreed. But it is true. Lucas sat on a bench. Lyra joined him. Back home, Lucas said, I didn't have many friends. I was always working, always quiet. I never thought anyone would see me. Really see me? I see you, Lyra said, her voice like soft wind. In ways no one else can. He looked into her silver eyes. What about your people? Will they be okay with this? Lyra didn't answer right away. In Elyari culture, she explained, we do not form permanent bonds outside our kind. Emotions are private. Love is sacred. Lucas felt a sinking in his chest. But, she continued, our people believe in learning, in growth, in new stars being born from the old. Are you saying? Lucas asked. I do not know. What the council will say, she said honestly. But I know what I feel, and I will not hide it. Lucas reached out. She took his hand. Her fingers were cool and smooth, and they glowed faintly where they touched his skin. That evening, they cooked dinner together in the base's learning kitchen. Lucas showed her how to boil water, add pasta, and stir in sauce from a jar. It smells like comfort, Lyra said. He laughed. That's the goal. We humans eat for comfort. It's like a hug for the stomach. She tried the spaghetti carefully. Her eyes widened slightly. It is soft, warm, and full of salt. That's the best review I've ever heard. Later, Lucas showed her music. Old songs from Earth's soft piano pieces, emotional ballads, even 1 or 2 pop songs. Lyra closed her eyes. Your music carries feelings without words. I feel sadness, then hope, then love. That's the idea, Lucas said. Music says things we can't say with speech. Then humans are more advanced than you think, she whispered. Lucas turned to her. Do your people have music? Yes, Lyra said. But not like this. Our music is made of color and movement. But I like your way too. She started humming, mimicking a soft melody she heard from the player. It was a simple tune, but when she did it, it became something more like light wrapped in a song. Lucas felt a chill. It wasn't cold. It was something else. She laughed. After the song ended, "Did I get it wrong?" "No," he said. "You made it better." Her laugh was light. Like a melody, as the week passed, others on the base began to notice. Alira and Lucas were always together. They spoke softly, smiled. Too much sometimes stood too close. One night, Lucas's friend Donnie pulled him aside. "You okay, man?" she asked. Lucas shrugged. "I'm good. You and the alien girl Alira, right? You two? Close." Lucas hesitated, then nodded. "Yeah, we are." Donnie raised an eyebrow. "You know what kind of attention that'll bring, right?" "Don't care." "Well, you should. Some people won't like it. They'll say it's wrong. Weird. Dangerous." Lucas looked down. "But it's not." Donnie sighed. "I hope you're right." He knew she meant well. But he also knew something stronger. This was real.
Ow.
This was worth it. That night, Lucas stood again under the stars, where it had all started. The sky stretched endlessly above him, cold, silent, infinite. But now, he didn't feel alone. Alira walked up beside him. "I heard your heart from across the base," she said softly. Lucas smiled. "What did it say?" She took his hand again. "It said, 'Don't be afraid. I am with you.'" Everything changed after that quiet night under the stars. Lucas and Alira were no longer just co-workers or cultural partners. They had become something more. Their connection had turned into something strong, something fragile and powerful. At the same time, they kept working together in the communication lab, acting normal during official hours. But after work, they would spend hours talking, walking, or sharing quiet moments under artificial moons in the garden dome. It became their secret world. Warm Tom. It's calm and safe. But the world outside was not so quiet. Illyra's people, the Eliari, had started to notice her changes. On their glowing ships above Earth, she was being watched more closely. Eliari leaders believed deeply in tradition. Relationships were planned, emotions were balanced, and bonding outside the Eliari species had never happened. One afternoon, a message arrived for Alira. A glowing orb floated into the lab and opened in front of her, spoke in the Eliari language, soft and musical, but serious. Lucas stepped back to give her space, but he could tell something was wrong. Her eyes didn't sparkle like usual. Her glow dimmed slightly. When the message ended, the orb vanished. "What was that?" Lucas asked gently. Alira turned toward him. "It was from the Council of Harmony. They have sensed emotional disturbance in me. They want me to return to the Eliari starship for alignment." "Alignment?" Lucas frowned. "What does that mean?" "It means correction, rebalancing of emotions." "I should return to focus," she said quietly. "They believe I am too attached." Lucas's chest tightened. "They know about us. Not fully. But they feel the changes. They always do." "Are you going to go?" "I must," she said. "If I refuse, it will cause suspicion. Delay could damage trust between our species." Lucas looked away. "So, that's it. They'll fix your feelings and send you back like nothing happened?" Alira stepped closer. "I do not want to forget you, Lucas. I want to remember. Every moment, then don't go. If I don't, they might never let me return. They may end the Unity program. They may call us back forever." Lucas clenched his fists. "Then I'm going with you." She blinked. "You cannot. Humans are not allowed on the Eliari vessel without high-level permission." "Then I'll sneak in. I'll wear a suit. I'll crawl in through a vent if I have to," he said. Alira almost smiled. "You are brave, but not quiet, please," he said softly. "I don't want you to face them alone. Going to judge you, they should hear from me too." She looked at him for a long time. Then finally she nodded. That night, with the help of Lucas's friend Donnie, they prepared a plan. Donnie wasn't happy about it, but she understood. "I hope you know what you're doing," she told Lucas as she handed him a data chip. "This contains Eliari's ship maps we've gathered. Use it to stay hidden." "Thanks," Lucas said. Just be careful. This could blow up in your face. I know, but I can't let her go alone. The next morning, Alira left officially, riding a silver transport beam into orbit. Lucas followed hidden inside a sealed cargo crate filled with equipment. It was risky, but his plan worked. Once inside the Elyari starship, he waited in silence. The inside of the ship was strange curved walls of light, floating platforms, and rooms that shimmered like water. The air felt thick with energy. Finally, Alira came to him. She had guided him to a safe chamber where they could talk. "You are truly here," she whispered. "I said I would be, but time was short." The council had called her to the Hall of Balance, the highest chamber on the ship, a place of judgment. Lucas refused to stay behind, so together they entered the grand hall, Alira glowing with calm strength, Lucas walking nervously beside her. The council waited. 7 Elyari elders, glowing brighter than Alira, sat in a floating circle. Their voices echoed together as one. "Alira of the Second Light, you have shown emotional disorder. You are bonded to a human. Why?" Alira stood tall. "Because he is kind, he is honest. He made me feel more than my training ever did. That is dangerous. Emotion clouds purpose." "No," she said. "Emotion gives meaning." Lucas stepped forward. The council's light flared as they noticed him. "You are not permitted. Why are you here?" "I came," Lucas said, his voice shaking, "because she shouldn't face this alone. Because I care for her. Because I believe love real. Love is not a weakness." There was silence. Then the council asked, "Do you understand the risk?" "A bond between human and Elyari is unnatural, unproven." "I know," Lucas replied. "But it's real. I didn't ask for this. I didn't plan it. It just happened, and I won't run from it." Lyra reached for his hand. Her glow became brighter. "I choose him," she said firmly, "even if it means losing my place among you." The hall was still. Then the council spoke again. "You are brave, both of you. Foolish, but brave. We cannot decide now. Return to your planet. We will consider." A light beam wrapped around them, and just like that, they were sent back to Earth. At the base, Lucas and Alira sat side by side, exhausted. "Do you think they'll accept us?" he asked. "I don't know," she said, "but I'm proud of what we did." Lucas looked at her. "Even if they say no?" "Yes," she said, "because for the first time, I didn't just follow rules, I followed my heart." News travels fast, especially when it comes from the stars. Within a day of Alira and Lucas returning from the Elyari ship, people on Earth started talking. Not just people at the space base, but across the whole planet. Human and alien in love. First interspecies bond sparks controversy, Earth's Unity program in danger. Every major news network picked it up. Social media exploded. Some people were amazed, others were angry. Some called it beautiful, others called it unnatural. Lucas and Alira didn't ask for the attention. They didn't do this for fame. But now they were at the center of something much bigger than themselves. One morning, Lucas walked into the command office. Commander Hayes, a stern and serious man, called him in. "Sit down, read." Lucas sat. "You're making history, whether you like it or not," Hayes said. "The council hasn't decided, but Earth leadership is getting nervous." "Nervous about what?" Lucas asked. "About trust, about peace, about whether this bond you've made will break everything we've worked for." Lucas stayed quiet. Hayes leaned forward. "You care about her?" "Yes," Lucas said. "Then you need to be smart. This isn't just about love anymore. This is about politics. It's about diplomacy." "So what do I do?" Lucas asked. "Lay low. Stay on base. No interviews. No statements." Lucas nodded. He understood, but laying low wasn't easy. When he walked through the halls, people stared. Some smiled, some frowned. A few whispered when he passed by. Donnie, his friend, tried to keep things normal. "You okay?" she asked one evening, I guess. Lucas replied. "I didn't think it would turn into this." "Falling in love with a glowing alien girl tends to attract attention," she said, half-joking. Lucas sighed. "It wasn't supposed to be this big. It is big, But not bad, she said. Some people are just scared of new things. Lyra faced her own pressure. Back on the LER ship, her image was being studied. Her records were reviewed. The elders questioned her choices. Some of her own people had sent messages of concern. Why did you let emotions control you? You were one of our best. You have shamed our path. Alira read each message with calm silence. But Lucas could feel the weight on her heart. You don't have to carry this alone, he told her one night. I know, she replied softly. But sometimes I wonder, did I hurt my people by loving you? Lucas took her hand. You didn't hurt them. You showed them something new. But they fear what they don't know, she said. So do humans, Lucas replied. We learn, we change. Maybe they will too. Despite everything, the days passed quietly. Lucas and Alira spent their time in the garden dome, the lab, or watching Earth from the observation deck. They avoided the cameras, the reporters, the politics. For now, they just had each other. One evening, while watching the sunset simulation in the dome, Lyra spoke. There is something beautiful about endings, she said. Lucas looked at her. What do you mean, the sun sets? The light fades? But it promises to return. He nodded slowly. Oh. You think this will end? She didn't answer. Then suddenly, the base alarm buzzed. A message flashed across the system. Incoming vessel. Unauthorized approach. Lucas and Alira rushed to the control room. Commander Hayes stood with a team of officers, staring at the screen. Small ship approached Earth's orbit, moving. Fast. It's Elyari, one officer said. But not a regular ship. It's one of their judgment vessels. Alira gasped. They've come for you? Lucas asked. For us, she said. Within an hour, a message was received. The Elyari Council had made their decision. They invited Alira and Lucas aboard for one final meeting. This time, no hiding, no sneaking. It would be official. A transport beam lit up the base's landing area. Lyra stepped into it first, then looked back. Are you ready? She asked. Lucas nodded. With you. Always. The inside of the judgment vessel was different from the other ship. It was darker, quieter, more serious. The council chamber was tall and round, with glowing walls and floating lights that pulsed with energy. The 7 council members stood once again in a circle. You have returned, they said together, Alira. And Lucas stood side by side. We have observed, the council said. We have listened. There was silence. Then the voice continued. Your bond is true. It is deep, but it breaks tradition. It disrupts balance. Lucas stepped forward. Sometimes balance needs to be broken for something better to grow. Explain. Lucas took a breath. We were strangers. 2 different species. But we connected not because of power or logic, but because of heart, because we cared. And if that's wrong, then maybe your rules are too small. The lights flickered. Alira spoke next. I followed every law. I completed every mission. But I never truly felt until I met him. He gave me something no system ever did. Choice. The room pulsed with light. You are brave, the council said, but choice comes with price. A long silence followed. Then, the council gave their verdict. You may return to Earth. Together, but Alira must give up her Elyari role. She will no longer serve as one of us. Lucas looked at her, worried. Alira smiled softly. I already chose. Back on Earth, the 2 stepped out of the beam into the soft evening light of the base. A crowd had gathered, humans and Elyari alike. There was silence. Then applause. Some humans clapped slowly, as others cheered. A few Elyari stood with glowing eyes, calm, respectful. Lucas turned to Alira. Are you okay? He asked. She looked up at the sky. Yes, she said. Because this is the beginning of something new. Lucas stood on the rooftop of the Earth Alliance base, watching the stars. The sky was clear, and the stars blinked gently above him. For the first time in days, the world felt quiet, but not his heart. He kept thinking about what the Elyari Council had said. Alira must give up her Elyari role. She had served her people for over 10 years. She was one of their best. Now, she had left all of that behind for him. He looked over his shoulder. Lyra was sitting nearby on a bench, her silver eyes reflecting the moonlight. He walked over. Slowly, how do you feel? He asked. Alira looked up. Like a tree after a storm. My roots are still here, but my leaves are different. Lucas sat beside her. Do you regret anything? No, she said. I made a choice with my whole heart. That is never a mistake. Lucas smiled, but a part of him still worried. What if they change their minds? What if people still don't accept us? Lyra gently took his hand. Then we will show them that love is not a rule to follow. It is a truth to live. The next morning, Earth's leadership requested a private meeting. Lucas and Alira were escorted into a large room filled with scientists, military officers, and political leaders. The Earth president, a calm woman named Alina Mora, stood at the center. We want to understand, she said. This relationship, this bond between you two, something Earth has never seen before, and some fear it. Lucas nodded. I understand, but we never meant to cause fear. We just connected. Mora looked at Alira. And you? Do you truly wish to stay on Earth as one of us? Alira answered without hesitation. Yes. I may not be human, but I believe in your kindness, your creativity, your courage. I believe in what Lucas showed me. Mora smiled slightly. Then we must prepare the world to believe in it too. That evening, the Earth Alliance announced something unexpected, a global broadcast. It would be the first time in history that a human and an alien spoke together to all of Earth and the Elyari people. Lucas was nervous, not good at speeches. Alira placed her hand over his. Just speak like you always do with truth. The next day, the world watched. Screens lit up in homes, schools, and stations. The broadcast began. Lucas stood first. His voice shook at the beginning, but he spoke from the heart. I'm Lucas Reed, just an engineer. Didn't plan this. I didn't expect it. But I fell in love with someone I never imagined. Alira is not from Earth, but her heart. It's more human than some of us. He paused and continued. We didn't break rules. We followed a path we didn't even know existed. And we're standing here not to ask for approval, but to offer something new, a way forward, together. Alira stepped next. I am Alira. Of the Elyari, my people are peaceful, but we are also cautious. For many cycles, we avoided emotion, fearing it would weaken us, but I found strength in it. I found joy and love. Not just for Lucas, but for your world. She looked at the camera. Let us not build walls between stars. Let us build bridges. After the broadcast, messages came from everywhere. Some were kind. Some were cold. Some humans wrote, "This is the future we dreamed of. Love has no borders." I didn't believe in aliens before, but now I believe in something better hope. But others said, this is unnatural. We don't need aliens changing our way of life. Still, Alira and Lucas stood together, knowing that every great change comes with fear. But fear would not stop them. A week later, something unexpected happened. The Elyari Council sent another message. A special envoy was arriving on Earth not for punishment, but for a trial of emotion. Lucas was confused. What does that mean? Alira explained. It is not a legal trial. It is a spiritual one. They want to observe our bond in percent. Feel it. If they accept it, they will recognize it. If not, they may ask us to separate. Lucas's hands tightened into fists. Separate. They can't decide that. They will not force, Alira said gently. But their decision will affect the Elyari's trust in Earth. Lucas looked into her eyes. Then we'll show them the truth. The next evening, 7 Elyari envoys arrived. They were elders, wise and calm. Their glowed gentle like moonlight. They spoke little, but watched closely. Lucas and Alira spent 2 days with them talking, working together, walking through the garden dome, even cooking and laughing. The envoys asked questions. How do you know this is love? What does she give you that another human cannot? What do you fear most? Lucas answered honestly. She gives me peace. She listens to me, not just my words, but what's inside. I never feel alone when she's near. I fear losing her more than anything, Alira answered too. He gives me feeling, purpose, not assigned, but chosen. With him, I am not just Elieri, I am whole. On the final day, the eldest envoy spoke. We have listened, we have felt. Your emotions are true. Lucas held his breath. You are different, but not wrong. You may remain together with our blessing. Alira's glow brightened. Lucas let out a deep breath. They had passed. Not through force, not through fighting, through truth. That night, they stood again under the stars. Lucas looked at her. We really did it. Alira smiled. No, we are doing it every day. He laughed. Then what comes next? She leaned her head gently against his shoulder. A future, together. Weeks had passed since the Eliari envoys gave their blessing. Lucas and Alira were no longer just a story on the news. It had become a symbol of something greater, a sign that two different worlds could meet in peace, and something beautiful could grow from it. Now, Earth and Eliari had entered a new era. Both sides agreed to create a shared center of knowledge, culture, and science. It would be the first human Eliari Unity Embassy, and it would be built right on Earth. Lucas and Alira were asked to be the first ambassadors of the Harta, our name chosen by both humans and Eliari, to honor the bond they had created. But even with all the progress, Lucas had one question left in his heart, one he had not asked out loud, not since the beginning. One quiet morning, Lucas walked to the garden dome. The sun above was artificial, but the light was soft and warm. Birds flew gently between the trees, and flowers swayed in the calm breeze of the climate system. Alira stood near the water pond, watching the fish swim in slow circles. She wore a simple flowing robe, glowing softly with calm energy. Lucas approached her slowly. She turned and smiled. You always find me when I need peace, she said. He smiled back. That's because I always need you. They sat together on a stone bench. Lucas took a deep breath. Do you remember the first thing I ever said that wasn't part of our work? Alira tilted her head, thinking. He offered me a tulip and said it smelled like spring. Lucas laughed. Okay, the second thing. She smiled. You whispered that you wished you could marry me. Lucas nodded slowly. Yes. And you answered, yes. Alira looked at him. I remember. He reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out a small, simple ring. It wasn't made of Eliari crystal or rare metal. It's just silver, pure and human. He held it up to her. I never asked you properly, he said. So now I want to ask the human way. Her eyes widened slightly, glowing brighter. Alira, will you marry me? There was silence for a moment, just the sound of wind, birds, and flowing water. Then softly she said, yes, again. The news of the first human Eliari marriage spread faster than any story before. Some people were surprised. Some didn't understand, but the world had changed. Most people smiled, some even cried, and many said something they had never thought possible before. Maybe love really is bigger than stars. The ceremony was planned for a special place outside, under the real sky, not under a dome. It would be held on the Unity Plateau, a high green hilltop, where the Earth Alliance and the Eliari delegation had signed the Friendship Pact. On the day of the wedding, guests came from everywhere. Humans wore suits and dresses. Eliari arrived in glowing robes and flowing lights. There were flowers, music, and even food that mixed both cultures, earth bread with Eliari spices, glowing drinks that changed color with emotion, and soft music made by human instruments and Eliari energy waves. Lucas stood in a simple black suit, nervous but smiling. Alira arrived, glowing brighter than ever, wrapped in silver and soft blue, looking like a star had taken the shape of a person. The ceremony was quiet, respectful, and deeply emotional. They didn't need long vows. Lucas simply said, I choose you. Walk, saw all galaxies, across every difference. Oh, my light. Alira answered, and I choose you through every fear, through every moment. You are my home. They placed rings on each other's fingers. Her Eliari ring glowed softly when it touched his dot, and then, under the stars, with two worlds watching, they kissed. After the ceremony, Lucas and Alira danced under the stars. Not a fast dance, just a slow. It's a gentle movement between two souls who had crossed all barriers to reach each other. A group of Eliari elders watched, quietly amazed. One of them whispered to another, "Perhaps emotion is not chaos, but creation." Children ran around the field laughing. Some human, some Eliari. None of them cared about who came from where. All they saw was love. That night, Lucas and Alira returned to their room at the base. Lucas sat by the window, watching the stars above. Alira joined him, resting her head on his shoulder. "Do you think others like us will come?" Lucas asked. "Yes," she whispered. "We opened a door. Others will walk through it." Lucas looked at the sky. "You know," he said, "when I was a kid, I used to look at the stars and wish I could visit another world." Alira smiled. "And now I've found my world," he said, looking at her. She placed her hand over his. "Then let us build that world, together." Outside, a new star blinked softly in the sky. And somewhere deep in space, an Eliari child looked up at it and asked, "Do you think humans love the same way we do?" And their mother answered, "Yes, sometimes even more."